typically, it all depends on the access you want to have to the left ventricle. Obviously, two options: either you go retro-aortic or you go transeptal. And so, if you go retro-aortic, then the registration is done as shown on the left of this slide here. So in red, you have the aortic arch as defined by your CT scan or your MRI. And in light gray is the same aortic arch that has been fast mapped with the ablation catheter. This is on a Carto platform, so it's a catheter that is equipped with a magnetic sensor, and we're not using any multi-electrode catheter for that, just the ablation catheter. It's in fact more precise with the ablation catheter because you don't have the uncertainty that you may have with the PanTray, where the magnetic sensor is in the shaft and then you have localization of the electrodes that is based on impedance. So I like better doing it with the ablation catheter itself. The important point here is to be very restrictive on the respiration curve, because if you don't take your points in expiration, then you're going to have a lot of variation, and your reconstructed aorta from the 3D system will look weird and very large. And so this takes about 5 minutes, and then you align the two aortic arches and you get registered. We have a final verification where we advance the ablation catheter in the LV down to the apex and make sure that it's not out of the cardiac model that has been reconstructed from imaging. If you go transeptal, if you choose to go transeptal, which we often do in elderly with quite some atherosclerosis, you know, there are always plaques in the aorta, and sometimes it's probably safer to go transeptal. Then in this case, we would fast map the pulmonary arteries and align the two models based on the pulmonary arteries. That's exactly the same process. We are as restrictive on the respiratory curves, and we get registration the same way. Now, I mentioned earlier that we should not use the, this is showing you in accelerated mapping, the fast mapping of the pulmonary arteries. Well, the trunk and the branches, right and left. We also in this case use the coronary sinus. We don't always do that. Typically the pulmonary arteries are enough, and particularly the bifurcation is a very good constraint anatomically area to be used for this registration. I told you not to use the atria, and this is because we did that in the past and it didn't work. Simply you get obvious registration issues doing that. Again, that's because they are acquired during the image in systole and in diastole with your ablation catheter if you try to map them quickly. So it simply doesn't work. That's really important to understand.